Welcome back to another episode of the Amazon Private Label Show podcast. It's hosted, as always, by Michael and Ryan, the co-founders of FBA University. Today's episode, we are going to talk about how to deal with Amazon returns, what to expect, and what's the best way to save the most amount of money from the returns you get. First, as always, we're going to plug our accelerator program. We run a 12-month Amazon Accelerator 2.0 program where we coach students usually from zero, but some currently are selling on Amazon and just want some help.
Yep.
We take them through each step of the private label journey. So we start with product research, we go to sourcing, we dive into product design, then we design a listing that converts, all the way through scaling, marketing, and really growing their listings and their brand on and off Amazon. So if you are interested in creating an Amazon business, book a call in the show notes. There's a link down there. We would love to help you going into next year. It could be a lot different Q4 if you start now. All right, my man, we're talking about never a fun topic, but always important, Amazon returns. So in terms of your business and how you think about returns, what do you do when there's a return and kind of where does that go? Start us off here and then we can kind of just free flow, my man.
Yeah, for sure. So anyone listening to this, if you've bought from Amazon before, and I'm sure you're aware, Amazon have a very relaxed return policy, which basically means that if a customer does want to return an item, there's really not much that stands in their way of getting a refund from Amazon, and ultimately you having to pick up the pieces, literally sometimes. So what does that look like? So, hey, if a customer's not happy with your product, they'll request a return. Amazon sends them normally a prepaid return label, or they then return the product to Amazon, and then they get credited the money back. You get the money debited from your reserve account on Amazon, and essentially the product then makes its way to the Amazon warehouse, and then now you have a couple of different options. The product goes into what's called your stranded inventory. Basically means any inventory that is not sellable on Amazon for whatever reason. Obviously, if it's a return and it is still in sellable condition, the buyer hasn't opened it or hasn't been tampered with in any way, that gets put back straight into your inventory and added. So you see another unit, bang, ready for sale, ready for customers to purchase. However, if it has been tampered or has been opened or whatever reason, or has been slightly damaged or whatever, that product becomes a stranded inventory, and then you have two choices. You can either, actually I think you have three choices now. So you can either one, get it removed to your address or a address. Two, you can dispose of it. Or three, I believe you can liquidate it and get a little bit of money back. So those are the three options you have. What do? I think it depends, firstly, where you're based, right? So I'm based in the UK. So for a lot of my products in the UK, I will get them moved to my house. I will then see if they're salvageable. If they are salvageable and I can sell them again, I'll sell them on eBay or another platform. And if I can't, what I like to do personally, helps with my ethics, is I like to donate it to a charity store. If it's just completely damaged beyond repair and there's no hope for it, I will just dispose of it, recycle it if I can, if not fully dispose of it. But for my products in the US, where I'm trying to expand at the moment, I obviously don't have an address there. So I have to dispose of the products or I liquidate. So if I can get some money back from them, I'll liquidate. If not, I will dispose of the products. 95% of the time I dispose of the products. Returns, I look at it as a cost of doing business. So if you are getting returns, as long as for me, I think the threshold is about 5%. As long as my returns don't go over 5% of my total sales, I'm happy. And I just see it as a cost of doing business. It's something that you have to be aware of. It's something that you have to deal with. I don't lose sleep at night because of returns. And yeah, I just deal with it as it comes. So in the UK, get them returned to me if possible, sell them on. In the US, majority of the time I dispose of them. So kind of that's how I go about it, my man. What do you do with your returns?
Yeah, I love it. You do have my address, my man. So if I so very similar. I mean, when I first started my business, what I would try to do is salvage every return. I think that's kind of the trajectory of
try to protect the pennies, seller.
Baby. Yeah, exactly. And so what what I do recommend, what you should not do first is get returns, especially if the boxes are damaged, and then just send them back expecting that will go well. Because I, as well as students of mine, have done that, gotten poor reviews because of the way the products are packaged and such. But what you can do, and what I've done for a while, not so much anymore, but really did it as I was growing my business early on, was having backup boxes of your products. So the boxes aren't made, they're flat boxes. And so then getting the majority of your returns removed to you, or if you use a warehouse, to there, and then looking at the individual product, if it's fine, repackaging that in a new box and sending it back in. Because as long as the packaging looks really good and the product works, your customer should be happy. And usually they can't tell the difference as long as you know how to package it. But not creating a new box after something's been, shipped from overseas to Amazon, from Amazon to the customer, from the customer back to Amazon, from Amazon to your house, and then expecting that to present as a new item is a risk that you don't want to take, because you're really just playing with the image of your brand. And so that's something I would say. One thing, certain products are going to have higher return rates, right? So you mentioned 5%. That's a good 5% and under is a good return rate. I mean, straight up, some products, the higher price you go, especially, can get high return rates. So my products typically stay in the 3 to 7% return rates, but some are right at that 6 or 7, and there's not a lot you can do, because the Amazon customer, and we're all Amazon customers, so we know it, you can order things off at a whim, right? And so sometimes they're ordering your product, and maybe they're ordering one or two competitors, and then they're comparing and sending things back. Morally, bad move. You don't want to do like that. Wouldn't be.
Don't do that.
I don't know how you do that as a customer, but that's happening, right? And so you have to just know, okay, if I'm going to create this business, have all these embedded customers where I'm all of a sudden playing in the Amazon market, where you have these high buyer intent, super targeted customers, you're also going to have to play the return game and be kind of in line with the 30-day no questions asked returns. So don't overstress it. Know that a lot of returns will be fine. So I recommend new sellers getting them to their house and then sending them back in. That's what I got. Anything else, my man, before we wrap for this one?
I think that's pretty much it. I think the biggest takeaway here is salvage what you can. If you can't, don't lose sleep over it. We always bake in between 5 and 10%, really on the higher end for return. So it's part of doing business, right? It's something that is going to happen. Amazon are very relaxed with it. They are very customers focused and customer centric. So don't be put off by this. It's definitely not stopped us from launching new products and doing business. It just is part of the game, right? If you're going through it, chances are, 99% of other sellers are going through the same thing. So it is just cost of doing business. Don't be put off. Don't let that deter you from launching and starting your Amazon business. And this leads perfectly into what I'm about to say. So if you are looking at getting started in private label and want that extra bit of help, don't necessarily want to make mistakes that can cost you thousands of dollars, do book a call with us about our Accelerator 2.0 program. We look to scale you through your first 3 products at least within a 12-month period. We have 14 hours of courses, unlimited one-to-one calls with myself and Michael, weekly Q&As, monthly sessions with Helium 10, and a bunch of resources and tools that will get you to 6 figures and up on Amazon and create you that life of freedom that you truly desire from an Amazon FBA private label business. So if that sounds like something you want to get involved in, click the link in the description or the show notes below. Book a call with us. We'd love to speak with as many of you as possible. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.